Hello, this is Debbie with Living the Hobby Farm Dream. Today we're going to be doing episode 17, which will be learning to ride a horse later in life, some experience that I've had. I wanted to share with you some things that I've learned, and we really appreciate all of you that are following along. Please follow our show on Spotify or on YouTube. It really helps if you follow along, and then we can do some content and things that you would like to hear. If you'd let us know or leave any comments, that would be great. Then we could know what kind of subjects you would like to have us talk about. And we'd like to get started with our podcast for today. So, for our podcast today, we're going to be talking again about learning to ride a horse later in life. And because this is something that I've learned in the last years, especially even before that we moved to our hobby farm, I just wanted to kind of share like 6 different ideas about learning to ride a horse later in life for those of you that might be a little bit older, past your youth, and then wanting to learn about riding horses, and that it's something that you always dreamed of. First of all, the reason I didn't learn to ride horse when I was younger was because my mom was a widow. We just didn't have extra money for things like horseback riding lessons or music lessons or anything. But then when I got older, I decided that that was something, a dream that I'd always had and I always wanted to do. My daughter was able to take some horse lessons when she was younger and was really crazy about horses, but I just never really entertained the idea seriously when I was younger because there just was not the money to do that at that time. Honestly, growing up, most of the people that I knew of that had horses were people that had a little more money than we did, and we always thought they were rich people that had horses at that time. But I realized later in my life that that was something that I still wanted to pursue, and I talked to my husband about it, something that I wanted to do, and he was supportive of that. And so he and I, in the very beginning, we went to a place nearby where we lived where they had beginner horse lessons, and him and I both took horse lessons together. And it was a really eye-opening thing to do. We were both in our early 50s, and we just decided it would be something fun that we could do together. So we were able to go to a place where they put us on beginner horses that had had a lot of training and given lessons to lots of people. And we were probably very naive about horses at that time because neither one of us had grown up really about horses. We'd been on horseback riding trips when we'd gone places, even on our honeymoon, we'd gone on a horseback ride, but we just wanted to find out more about it. And so we just kind of got on the horse and threw our leg over and just started taking the lessons and having fun. And it was a little bit overwhelming at first when you're older and thinking that you could do this and it's not that hard. And then as you start riding, you realize there's a lot more to riding a horse than what you think. And because they're live animals and they can pretty much do whatever they want. And so you have to kind of be aware and alert when you're riding a horse. But we had a lot of good luck with this place where we took the beginning lessons and we really enjoyed it. We were so happy to be able to do something fun together like that. And so we did that for a while at the beginning. The thing that we realized is that you're never too old to start living your dreams, whatever those might be, even something like horseback riding. And it's great for your brain as you get older to learn new things and new skills. And they say that helps you as you get older. So that's something that you can remember, is that riding a horse or whatever new thing that you decide to do, that it's really good for you. For one, the thing that I want to talk about is it's okay to be a beginner, even if you're older. And sometimes we think, oh, I already know everything I need to know, or most everything I need to know by that as you get older. But the fun thing about starting something new that you're interested in as a beginner is it's really exciting and sometimes maybe a little overwhelming. But if it's something that you've always dreamed of doing, it'll be a lot of fun for you to learn. And you may fail at it, but then again, what if you fly? What if things go well and you learn something from it? And so I would say don't give up on your dreams, even if you're older. Find some things that you want to learn how to do. Could be numerous things, but today we're just mostly talking about riding a horse, but I think it applies to lots of things in your life that are new, that especially as the older you get. And obviously, if you had started riding horses when you were younger, it might have been a little easier. I know when I went into it after I learned more about horses, I had some fear there more as I was older, I think, than I would have had if I was younger. And so I think that's something else you have to realize as a person that's a little older, is maybe you've developed some more fears or anxieties about horses, or trying things that may be a little more dangerous, that maybe when you were younger, you would have just hopped on that horse or that motorcycle or whatever and just went about it. But as you're older, I think that maybe because you have some more responsibilities or things like that, that you have maybe some of those you have some of those little worries in your mind. but it's still good to go ahead and try these new things. And number 2, the other thing like I was talking about is it's okay to be a little scared and to feel maybe inadequate. And I had some fears that what if something bad happened? What if I was hurt? I have a family, I have obligations, things I need to do. But you can work through those things. So keep trying and try to find a reputable place to take lessons from. I think that's very important to find a place that has maybe a little older horses, experienced horses that can give lessons to beginners. I think that's an important thing to do. Really check out the places around you and make sure it's a place that is going to be doing the type of riding you want, whether it's English riding, Western riding, pleasure riding, jumping, whatever the kind of skills that you want to do. For us, it was just kind of general riding, like trail riding and learning some basic skills on a horse. The first horse that I took lessons on, her name was Socks, and she was in her late 20s. And she had so many children and people of all ages on her back. And I had a good little trainer there, young lady that helped me with her just to learn the basics. And she would go around and around in the circles, and she wasn't excitable, and she was good with other horses. She knew her different leads, and she knew what to do, how to trot and do all the different things that a horse needs to do. And so she was perfect for a beginner like me. The third thing is mostly just take lessons at a reputable place. That's what we did. We just looked online until we found what we could as a reputable place and called some places and found places that were what we could afford. We went and visited the facility in places that had lots of beginner horses. You can ask around and do your research, whether it's online or people in your community that have horses or that have been around horses a lot. When we first started taking horse lessons, we did it as a group. But you can also do it not only with a group of beginners or maybe even some that are a little more advanced, but also for individual lessons. And depending on whether it's individual or group will depend on the price. An individual lesson will cost you more probably than a group lesson. And so just keep taking more lessons as a beginner. And then as you get more advanced, you can move on possibly to a new trainer or a new lesson. The fourth thing I would say to do if you're learning to ride a horse is to watch lots of videos. I watched so many videos online about different trainers and methods that they used and taking what makes sense to you because it's like everything else out there on the internet. You can hear lots of different ideas about horses and lots of different ways to train them and different ways to ride them. And so you can take all the information that you get and pick out those things that are the most useful to you and that help you the most with riding your horse. I'm grateful for all my trainers that I've had. The first one that I had taught me a lot about groundwork and the skills that you need with groundwork on a horse and how to take care of a horse and groom the horse and find out about the horse. My first trainer that I had was the one that I eventually took with me when I was ready to buy my own horse, and I was grateful that I did that. Then the second trainer I had taught me more about riding skills and helped me to gain more confidence. The thing that you need to do is keep learning as far as you want to take your horse skills. In the beginning, you're learning very, very basic skills about your horse. And then as you get better and better at riding the horse, then you may want to change trainers to get someone that has the skills that you want. Those skills could include things like trotting, cantering, or galloping. It could include things like roping. It could include things like jumping, whatever things that you're interested in doing with a horse. For me, at the stage of life I was at, I just wanted to learn how to be confident on a horse so that I could go trail riding and so that I could do the basic things that horses do and ride with some friends and enjoy being on a horse and be confident on a horse. Some of the trainers that I enjoyed watching online and followed some of their things that they taught, and as well as visiting them and going to some of their events that they had so that I could learn from them, were Buck Brannaman and Clinton Anderson, and also some things from Pirelli. But there are a lot of trainers out there that you can watch and find what resonates with you and what you agree with. Try to find those trainers that think the way that you think and that their methods are things that you're willing to do with your horse and that make sense to you, because there's a lot of voices out there that will be telling you different things to do with horses. The fifth thing is when you're a beginner and you're a little bit older and you're ready to buy a horse, I would say take an experienced horse person with you for sure and get a good vet check. get a horse with great training, maybe a little bit older horse that has had some experiences, and visit that horse numerous times in unexpected visits, and then spend time with horses just in general. That helped me a lot as a beginner when I was older, is to spend time with horses, watching them, grooming horses. You can see their different personalities and continue to take lessons. Keep watching those videos. I feel like every day I was watching videos, every day I was just dreaming about horses and horse riding and wanting to spend more time with horses. And something that I learned is you don't have to buy the very first horse that you see. Take your time. Like I said, take someone with you that is experienced, because the first time we bought a horse, it was way more than what we could handle for a beginner. And we didn't realize that because we just thought it was a beautiful horse. So take someone with you that will help you to find the best horse, not the most, maybe the most beautiful horse, but the best trained horse and that fits well for you. Number 6, the thing that to me was very, very important, especially as an older person, and I think even at any age when you're riding a horse, is to be safe around horses. And that means you learn a lot about horses, that you stand to the left side of them. You're cautious around the back end of them where they can kick. You have to be even cautious around the front of them because they have big teeth and they can bite. And so you have to get to know horses really well, and what kind of horse that you're around, their personality, and be respectful to them. And also make sure that you learn how to help your horse to be respectful to you also. From the moment that I started riding horses, I'd taken some courses about brain injury, and I know that riding horses can be a dangerous sport. And so I felt that I needed to be wearing a helmet to keep my brain safe and my head safe. And sometimes when you wear a helmet, you might get made fun of, but for me, that was something that I felt was necessary for me to do, that I felt much safer riding a helmet because I knew I was doing a dangerous activity. I was told not to be a hero, that if you feel that your horse is unsafe for any reason and you're unsure of the horse, and that the horse may be acting totally out of control, it's better for you to get off than get hurt. So don't try to be a hero. Try to be safe. That's the most important thing you can do when you're on a horse. When we were boarding horses, we saw lots of people that just got a horse because it was beautiful. Maybe they didn't take a trainer with them or anybody that knew about horses, and it was a beautiful horse, but it was way too much, almost to a point of being dangerous to the people that bought this horse. And so that just cemented in our head how important it is to take someone with you, get a horse that is well trained, a horse that you can ride it with some confidence that it's going to keep the same behaviors most of the time, even though all horses can sometimes do something that is, I would consider, kind of scary. But if you are trained right and you have a good trainer that's teaching you what to do, and watch these videos and taking lessons, then you'll know what to do when a horse is not acting the way they should be. So the main purpose, I feel, of a good trainer is to train you to be confident in the saddle and know what to do. And if your horse is a little scared or acting maybe a way that they shouldn't be acting at that moment, it's to help you to have that confidence so that you can handle whatever situation comes. So starting later riding horses, it was exciting time. It was a learning time, and something that almost like was obsessive at this stage of life, because my kids were grown and I could just spend as much time as I wanted to with my horse and learning about horses and learning about riding horses. It was a perfect time in my life for that. And I can say now I'm not a perfect rider. I wish that I could have started when I was a lot younger, but I feel like I know a lot more about horses now than I ever did before, and I have a lot of confidence around them more so than I did before. And I'm not perfect at everything. I still have some fears as an older person around horses, and even my own horse that I know really well, especially since we brought her here to our property all these years ago. But I have gained more knowledge about horses, more knowledge about training horses, more knowledge about spending time with horses. And I'm grateful for those trainers. I'm grateful for those videos and for those people that have helped me to be more confident around horses. I think bringing our horse Ruby to our property here in the last few years has really helped my confidence, because now I know how to feed and water her, how to take care of her, what the different moods of a horse are, and how to feel more confident around her. And it's been a life-changing experience. I remember all those years ago when I made a dream board in my room and it had a picture of a horse on it, and I said, "One day I want to take horse riding and I want to have a horse." And I firmly believe in dream boards because that dream came true and lots of others by having a dream board or vision board. So if having a horse and learning to ride a horse is one of your dreams, I hope that you won't give up and that you'll keep going after your dreams even if you are older, and even if you didn't have a chance when you're younger to ride a horse, that you'll try it when you're older. It's something that I've learned so much from, and I would go back and do it all over again. And I'm grateful that I've had this opportunity to have my own horse and to learn on her and to become more confident horseback rider, and it's been a dream come true. I would say learning to ride a horse has really enriched my life. I'm so grateful that I was able to do that, and I would encourage any of you that have any interest in riding a horse to do it too, because you'll be glad that you did. Thank you again for listening. We really appreciate all you that follow along on Spotify and YouTube, Living the Hobby Farm Dream, and we look forward to talking to you again in a few more weeks.